So all of this looks great, right? I shouldn't complain, right? I can't say that I'm androgen deficient, right? But somehow it feels like it's not there, like the testosterone is not there. And it's been an upwards journey the last couple of months. I had a severe dip after I came off PEDs and my testicular function was somewhat recovering. And let's go through this a little bit quicker than usual because I'm sure you guys are all familiar with my explanations on what each marker exactly entails. So let's just get started with the urinalysis. I was hydrated. You can see that from the specific gravity being low. You see that my complete blood count is very representative of a guy who has been off steroids for a very long time because my hematocrit is only 44% and my red blood cell count is 4.85 million cells per cubic millimeter. So that's not entirely high enough for great endurance or great stamina in the gym, but it's high enough to have a somewhat enjoyable workout. Blood chemistry, blood sugar was 86 milligrams per deciliter, probably because I had a cup of coffee before going in for blood work. Blood urea nitrogen is only 16.4 milligrams per deciliter because I don't eat so much protein anymore. Creatinine still somewhat elevated, 1.33 milligrams per deciliter, slightly over the reference range. I'm not worried about that. I've had it much higher in the past. Uric acid is nice and low because I stay hydrated. Creatine phosphokinase is only 700 units per liter because I don't train at the same intensity I used to. My CPK used to be 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 units per liter. Yeah, the days of insanity are gone. Lactose dehydrogenase is a little bit towards the top of the reference range, but not out of the reference range. It's also a marker for training intensity. Lipase, amylase are normal again after going to the United States. These were like 25%, 30% out of the reference range when I came back from the USA. Insane. C-reactive protein was 11 milligrams per liter and now 0.4 milligrams per liter, so we're not inflamed anymore. D-dimer came back to normal parameters. Homocysteine is normal. I just wanted to check if other inflammatory markers were off, but my neutrophil to lymphocyte ratio was normal, and now my CRP and homocysteine levels also normal. And my cystatin C levels are normal, which I always check whenever I check my kidney marker. So cystatin C is a very good indication of kidney health. 0.84 milligrams per liter, falling in the middle of the reference range, I would say. It's a little bit higher than it is normally, but it's probably because I don't drink so much water as I used to. I think I'm consuming about 4 to 5 liters of water over the day, whereas before it might have been 8 liters, 10 liters, even 12 liters when I was training my socks off and eating a boatload of food. Next one, lipid profile. Again, within normal parameters, total cholesterol 171, HDL 63, and LDL cholesterol 104, 4 points out of the reference range. I'm not worried about that because it was way worse after coming back from the United States. Liver function, all normal. AST is slightly elevated, certainly a lot better than it used to be on cycle. On cycle, I'd be like 50, 80, maybe 100 units per liter. Iron study is completely normal. I've been eating beef in my diet regularly ever since I came off cycle. On cycle, I can't really eat beef that often. Otherwise, my serum iron levels really go too high and my hematocrit and red blood cell count goes up to match. But off cycle, I can eat as much beef as I want to. Yes, all that creatine elevating my serum creatinine levels. Great. Moving over to my hormone panel, you see that my thyroid function is completely normal, albeit that thyroid stimulating hormone is a little bit higher compared to the last time. Could be a moment in time. Last time TSH was about, I think around 2 micro IUs per milliliter, and now it's 3.21 micro IUs per milliliter with all other thyroid hormones in range. Keep in mind that I'm supplementing with T4, 100 micrograms in total, 50 micrograms morning and afternoon. Growth hormone is normal because I injected growth hormone the night before and it's already completely metabolized. And IGF-1 obviously is elevated from the 500 microgram administration, which I did the day prior. And thus my IGF-1 levels is, let's say, 50% out of the reference range, which is pretty good for overall fullness and energy levels during the workout. IGF binding protein 3 is still towards the top of the reference range, so not disproportionately elevated. Good amount of this IGF-1 is free. Keep in mind I do intramuscular administrations. I don't want my IGF-1 to be elevated in serum, but I want it to be high in the muscle that I'm injecting it into, being the chest, obviously. And I think so far it's somewhat effective. Okay. Moving over to the other hormones, beta-HCG is elevated because I administered Mercovitrol 1,000 IUs the day before. So that's, let's say, 25 milli IUs per milliliter. So me personally, yours truly, definitely pregnant. Estradiol, 43.8 picograms per milliliter. FSH, administering 75 IUs recombinant FSH the day before, 3.12 milli-IUs per milliliter. LH, still non-existent. Progesterone is elevated, so I decided to take the pregnenolone out for now and solely rely on DHEA. And maybe this progesterone is just elevated from the copious amount of ATG and FSH that I've been taking the last couple of months. Prolactin is normal, middle of the reference range, 10 nanograms per milliliter. Libido is as good as it can be without anabolic androgenic steroids and being in a caloric deficit for a very long time. DHA sulfate is a little bit higher than last time. Last time was about 100 micrograms per deciliter. Now I'm happy to see that it doubled, close to 200 micrograms per deciliter. Albumin 4.6, needed for bioavailable testosterone. Total testosterone, let's say 817.52 nanograms per deciliter, almost 820. Baby, free testosterone 14.2, because my SHBG is 49 nanomoles per liter, but bioavailable testosterone at least being partially weakly bound to albumin over the reference range at 356 nanograms per deciliter. So all of this looks great, right? I shouldn't complain, right? I can't say that I'm androgen deficient, right? But somehow it feels like it's not there, like the testosterone is not there. And it's been an upwards journey the last couple of months. I had a severe dip after I came off PEDs and my testicular function was somewhat recovering. I've had levels between, let's say, 600 and 900 nanograms per deciliter. And now it's proven with this latest blood work, it's close to the highest number I ever got over these last 10 months that I've been off cycle. It doesn't feel that way. Anyway, well, we'll address that a little bit later on in this video. Let's have a look at my fertility parameters, which, well, insane. As of the last semen analysis last week, total semen volume 3.5 milliliters, pH is normal at 8, normal viscosity, liquefaction time 10 minutes, viability 86%, so 86% of the semen is alive. So that's well over the World Health Organization established criteria of 2010 of 54%. Moving over to the sperm concentration, 116.4 million per milliliter. Total sperm count, 403.7 million per ejaculate. For all the guys who told me, Steve, you should stay on TRT, I challenge you right now and here. Produce similar semen analysis results of you using the exact same fertility medications on TRT. Could be 50 milligrams testosterone per week, 100 milligrams, 200, 300 milligrams TRT plus, generous TRT for bodybuilders. Show me that HCG, FSH, and exogenous testosterone can produce semen parameters like this, right? I'm 40 years old. I understood that my wife had limited chances per conception round to get pregnant. So I had to ensure my semen parameters as a man were as high as they could be. And I think this is absolutely fucking stellar for everything that I've done in the past. Show me a guy on TRT that has a motility of 80%, progressive motility 68%, non-progressive motility only 12%. Total motile sperm 325.8 million. Right? Show me a guy on TRT who has that. And sperm morphology is 35%. The World Health Organization criteria of 2010, it should be over 4%. And with strict criteria, it should be over 14%. But if they calculate it strictly at this fertility clinic, my sperm morphology is 24%, which is still pretty fucking good. Could be better, right? I mean, morphology of 42% would be better. The highest that I got was 39% last year. Of course, there's going to be some fluctuations here and there in different semen analyses results. But I would say that based on the last couple of results, morphology, progressive motility, total semen counts, fucking good. All right, so based on the lab conclusion, it's normozoospermia. All is in the green. And here's a picture of my semen for all you lusty guys out there. Please carefully assess the morphology. Normal means normal morphology and abnormal means abnormal morphology. The abnormal ones are not the ones that you're looking for. So this results in a normal morphology of approximately 35%, 24% if you're strict about it. So yeah, let's keep this on the screen a little bit longer. I didn't mean to get all the semen in your eye, but now that it's in your eye, you better well enjoy it. And here's the DNA fragmentation results. You see that of the 523 cells analyzed, 7% has a large halo, 87% has a medium halo, resulting in DNA fragmentation of only 6%, which The fertility specialist that I talked to was surprised that it was so low. He asked me, when the consultation was over, what are you doing? I said, well, vitamin C, ubiquinol, injectable glutathione, NAD+, nicotinamide mononucleotides. And he put the pen to paper and wrote it all down so he could help all of his other fertility clients. So I think I'm doing it right, but so far no luck, unfortunately. And while we're talking about semen, let me briefly highlight another semen analysis results from a couple months ago, from September. You see that the total volume is 4 milliliter, but it had abnormal viscosity. Not entirely sure why, but it could be the abstinence time or the time that I took between entering the room and leaving the room with the donation sample. Sometimes it goes a little bit faster than other times, right? No foreplay involved, unfortunately, when you do a semen donation. Sperm concentration at the time was 137.1 million per milliliter, a total sperm count of 550 million per ejaculate. Yeah, baby. But the motility was only 63% with a progressive motility of 53%, still over what is required to get somebody pregnant. At the time, sperm morphology was 39%, but that was the time I took 600 milligrams injectable glutathione 4 times per week and IV glutathione 1800 milligrams once per week. So I reduced the antioxidants significantly. And at the time of the previous semen analysis, I wasn't on that much injectable glutathione because it wasn't around ovulation/conception day. Let's see, strict criteria was 28%. So again, that's a little bit better than the previous results. And when we look at the DNA fragmentation, even though I was taking more glutathione at the time, the DNA fragmentation was 13%, 15% large halo, and 72% medium halo. So again, some fluctuations is to be expected. Some results are going to be exceptionally good, and others might be good, but not exceptionally stellar like other ones are. So again, I've done so many semen analysis now to the point, I can start running graphs, but we'll do the graph analysis when I have good news for you guys, and I can actually make a video about how to get your wife pregnant after running performance-enhancing drugs, because, I need to get my wife pregnant first. Otherwise, it would be lying, right? And we got enough liars in the fitness industry already. All right, so like I mentioned earlier, everything on paper looks very, very good, if I do say so myself. Bloodwork analysis looks great. Fertility analysis, semen parameters, absolutely great. But I don't feel great, and I don't know why, right? I'm open to suggestions. Let me know down below in the comment section what I'm doing wrong and what your suggestions might be for me to feel a little bit better. I can troubleshoot, right? Is it because I removed the Bedator HMB 2-3 weeks ago and I'm sore all the time and fatigued all the time and unmotivated most of the time? Not entirely sure. It will arrive in a couple days, so hopefully that can kind of cure my situation. Is it because I haven't been sleeping according to my circadian rhythm for months now, and even though I'm supplementing with vitamin D3, somewhere I'm deficient and it's affecting my overall mood and sense of well-being? Is it because I've been in a caloric restrictive state for months now, right? I don't want the non-alcoholic fatty liver disease back, and I do want to stay in shape for social media, but maybe it's just time to pull the plug and return the moon phase to previous levels. Or maybe it's because I've been busting nuts in my wife in an attempt to get her pregnant for months now, and every month the period still comes. It's been 7 fucking months of multiple nuts around ovulation time. No pregnancy yet. Right? It doesn't really make you feel like a man. I've been busting nuts into women for decades. And then when the time comes to get your favorite woman, your wife, pregnant, no luck. I'm basically going to give it another 5 months of trying, and then we'll look into HCG-stimulated ovulation or intrauterine insemination or in vitro fertilization. Right? There's a lot of opportunities and possibilities to get her pregnant through alternative routes. But for now, I'm just going to keep going, keep busting nuts around time of ovulation, and then fingers crossed, and please cross your fingers with me, that I do get her pregnant without having to resort to medical intervention. Not that it's expensive, not that I can't afford it, but I would like to prove to myself that I still got it, or that I have it in me, right? Without medical incentive. And if you feel that I need to come off the GH and the IGF-1 and whatever else, let me know, dude. At this point, I'm open to any kind of a suggestion. But from all of the research that I've done, I think, and the results that I have, I think I'm doing it right. Anyway, I shouldn't be too hard on myself. I'm sure things will play out over the next couple of months. Hey, man, if bodybuilding taught me anything, it's how to be hard on myself. It's fucking Horrible. Okay, let's leave it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. You can find everything that I'm associated with down below in the YouTube description section. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at VigorSteve, Vigorous Crew. You guys know what to do. I mean, this frontal bicep is not bad at all. It's still filling out the screen. Still got this 3D effect. Still fucking lean.